Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Brussels. Let me start by congratulating Croatia for adopting the euro and fully joining the Schengen area in the beginning of this year. This is an important milestone for Croatia, but also for the European Union. The Russian invasion of Ukraine altered dramatically the geopolitical order and the global energy system. This has a direct impact on our citizens and businesses, especially the most vulnerable. On the energy front, our response has been the REPowerEU plan, our commitment to end the dependence on Russian fossil fuels as soon as possible. It rests on three pillars: saving energy, ramping up renewables, and diversifying our energy supply. In 2021, we received 155 BCM of Russian gas. By now, Russian pipeline gas makes up less than 10% of our supply. We cannot simply replace this gas with the same amount from other suppliers. We must cut our demand. Based on Commission proposal, we set a target to reduce our gas consumption by 15% from August to March, and the EU is delivering. The latest data shows that gas consumption is down by 20%. But we cannot save, we must produce as sustainably as possible. This is not only good for the climate, but for our energy security. Homegrown renewables come with much fewer risks than imported fossil fuels. As with energy efficiency, we are currently upgrading our 2030 renewables target. The Commission has proposed 45% of renewable sources in the energy mix by then. There are already some very encouraging signs. 2022 was a record year for solar energy in the EU, and both the North and Baltic Sea countries have very ambitious plans for offshore energy. But we must push further. One bottleneck that prevents faster progress is permitting. To improve this situation, the Commission has proposed a comprehensive overhaul of our permitting system. To make sure that renewables can already help us to address the ongoing crisis, we made an additional emergency proposal to accelerate permitting. The Council approved this measure in the end of last year. I mentioned that we do not plan to replace every molecule of Russian gas with molecules from other suppliers, but some of the Russian gas needs to be replaced. We have been working with reliable suppliers across the globe, such as the US, Norway, Azerbaijan, Egypt, and Israel, to ensure that we have sufficient amounts of gas available. And we have been successful ramping up both alternative LNG and pipeline deliveries. We have also been addressing the infrastructure bottlenecks in the EU. The construction of the LNG terminal on the island of Krk, with the EU's help, is an excellent example of how infrastructure projects contribute to the security of supply. Thanks to all these steps and the obligation to fill the storage, we are today well placed to get safely through this winter. The gas prices have fallen to pre-war levels, and our storage is still almost 80% full. We are also working on a new alternative LNG price benchmark and making joint purchase of gas operational for the new filling season. The market correction mechanism to limit excessive gas prices will come into force in February. That said, energy prices are still high, and we will continue our work to stabilize the markets and help the member states to support their people and businesses. This includes the temporary revenue cap on cheap electricity producers and solidarity contribution from the oil, gas, coal, and refinery sectors. These revenues will be redirected to household consumers, hard-hit companies, and energy-intensive industries. In addition, the Commission has been preparing to improve the design of the electricity market for the longer term. The main objective is to bring the benefits of affordable renewables to consumers, while also preserving the benefits of a common market-based electricity system. Croatia, as any other member state, has an important role to play in reaching the EU energy and climate goals. There are considerable financial resources available for that from the EU budget. Croatia has, for example, huge potential for rooftop solar energy, but it currently only represents a 1% share of the total generation capacity. There is also real potential for renewable hydrogen production, but this will require ambitious deployment of green energy. Croatia also has much to gain from boosting energy efficiency and buildings renovations beyond the post-earthquake construction. Given that Croatia relied on natural gas for 71% of its heating in 2020, the replacement of gas and oil boilers with heat pumps and other more efficient and green solutions is particularly relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, the Russian aggression against Ukraine and the related energy crisis have made our path forward very clear. It means a faster move away from fossil fuels toward a clean energy system. It is the only way to provide secure, sustainable and affordable energy for the EU and the world. This remains our ultimate goal. Thank you.